Toronto. Deuce was loose again. 9 threes for him, a career high. Ties a career high with 29 points. Mitchell Robinson missed the last 50 games. 12 minutes tonight, 8 points. Looked good, played well. Knicks win by 44, their biggest margin of victory this year. 145 points, the most they've scored in a game this year. And most importantly of all, the standings up to the second in the Eastern Conference. The Cavs lost to Charlotte tonight. The Magic lost to the Warriors. The Bucks were idle. So the Knicks are 2 games out of second and now in third, all alone, a half game in front of the fourth-place Cavs. Great to have you with us from our Delta MSG studios. Bill Pito along with Alan Hahn and Wally Zerbiak. The theme has been consistent here. Get in front of these teams that you're supposed to beat.
Yes.
Get out early and make it easy.
Oh, it's fun to watch. This team is in some rhythm, just blowing teams off the floor. They did this on the road, too. I understand at home the way they blew out the Detroit Pistons, but to go out on the road, just be in complete work mode, be professionals, get a huge lead in that first quarter, move the ball the way they did. Tom Thibodeau always talks about play the right way. This is what you do to teams when you play the right way and you're playing against teams that are not playing the right way. You just blow them off the floor on their home floor. Just a very impressive victory.
It's what this team's done all season is take care of business. I mean, we know what they do against teams with a losing record. They beat them. And there's something that Josh Hart talked about in the previous game. When this is the stretch we've talked about, how important these 4 games were. 1 more to go against teams with a losing record. They play the Spurs in San Antonio on Friday. And Josh Hart said, with teams like this, and he's been on him, he said, I was in Portland, we were like this too. If a team let you stay in the game and all of a sudden you made it competitive, but if you're getting blown out in that first quarter, then you just know, put that team away and then keep them at bay. And that's exactly what the Knicks did. Another night, get off to a big start and then hold off the opponent to get the win.
Guys, the Knicks now are 26-2 against under 500 teams. They're 16 games above 500 for the first time since the 12-13 season. Mitchell Robinson came back. Yeah. We came in today not knowing for sure if he was going to play. He did play 12 minutes, 8 points, 2 blocks, 2 rebounds. What do you think?
It's a huge story for this Knicks team. Getting him back into the lineup, he'll obviously just on a minutes restriction, he'll work his way back into rhythm. But he looked great. You see what a dominating force he is out there. I mean, no easy baskets at the rim, as the Raptors learned today. You know, doing a good job rolling to the basket. You know, not quite in the same fluidity form that he was in at the beginning of the season, but he's attacking the basket with vengeance. He's had time to work on his free throws. There's a nice recovery and a nice finish. And look at his body. He was the biggest, strongest, most impactful big out there. He is a difference maker with his size and his mobility to go with it. So when you add this to the Knicks roster that's already playing outstanding basketball, it takes you from here to here, especially in a playoff scenario, and it's great to see him moving and back in the lineup and smiling again, too.
Yeah, that's right. Having him back, you see he and Isaiah Hartenstein, when they met at the scorer's table when he came in the game, Hartenstein gave him a hug because he was happy for him. You're so right about the size thing. I mean, it's noticeable when he's on the floor. He makes this team bigger. That's what they certainly are going to need, and now he's got this game in. Now, 10 games left for him to get himself, find that rhythm, the ability to catch the basketball while moving, and also the conditioning. Game conditioning, while he'll tell you, is a lot different than when you're running up and down the court in practice. So he's going to need that time, but it's great to see him back because he will be a difference maker for this team.
Guys, how about Deuce McBride? He made 6 threes in the first quarter. That ties the Knicks franchise record for most threes made in a first quarter. Finished with 9. It looked like he was going to bypass Dante DiVincenzo 1 game after DiVincenzo made the single-game record for most threes made. 29 points for McBride to tie a career high. How about his scoring, Wally? Are you surprised? Consistently now, double figures, and a handful of games here of late, he's gone over 25 points.
Well, he's established what a great shooter he is at the NBA level. He's put in the work to become an outstanding over 40% three-point shooter. So now, when he gets volume looks with the 5-man unit that he's out there on the floor with, that's when you maximize his shooting ability. You put him out there with a great point guard in Jalen Brunson who can find him, also a great point forward in Josh Hart who just made that pass. And then it just opens up his game and unlocks his game to the fullest. I mean, another 29-point effort. He had multiple 26-point efforts. He locked up Steph Curry a couple weeks ago. With his opportunity to play with great players, he has just been completely on fire. He's been unlocked. He's not afraid to shoot. If you leave him open in rotations, he's going to make the defense pay. And oh, by the way, he's an elite perimeter defender. I mean, this type of performance, he could have gone for 11 if this was a little bit closer game, in my opinion.
Yep.
I just think when you're blowing a team out, you're kind of just like, let's just get the win, get out of here, not get injured. It was an impressive performance.
And you know what else, too? He had 7 assists in this game.
Yeah.
1 turnover. He does not turn the ball over. That's something consistently about him. And let me just state for the record, when I talked to him about the braid and over his eye and how do you see it, and we had a good laugh out of it, you notice that he now has the headband. He changed up the hairstyle. I have nothing to do with that now, right? He still shot the basketball really well. But this just shows you a guy who has, as you heard him talk to the guys, he has put in the work. He trusts his work. And when he comes into the game, he shoots with confidence. And more importantly, the coaching staff believes in him.
Yeah.
When you have that and you know your head coach trusts you and believes in you, you're going to go out there and play free. And that's what he's been doing. And he has developed himself into a player that can come off the bench and be an impact player, and also a player that can start. Because he, next to Brunson, actually does fit because of how much he is a catch-and-shoot shooter that spaces the floor, which opens it up for Jalen Brunson.
Knicks as a team, and coming up, we'll talk about this more specifically, 22 made threes. Franchise record's 24.